Hello everyone. I hope you can hear me. So let's start beginning. Yes. So hello everyone and welcome. My name is Shiv Kumar Singh and today we are going to explore a fascinating journey of the structural backbone of India, our nation, structural backbone of our nation, the evolution of Indian administration. So when we look the modern bureaucratic setup, we often thought that is a purely a contemporary creation, but things are not always like that. The current administrative structure has a deep historical layers, and we are going to explore those layers and peel by peel, we will peel them like onion. Okay. So joke apart, for some people it was a joke or not, I don't know. But yeah, so evolution of Indian administration, the present Indian administrative system did not emerge out of thin air. First of all, we need to understand. Instead, it evolved over the period of time. So we are going to see three major administrative structures. One is Mauryan administration, which was present in the ancient India. One is Mughal administration, medieval India, and the British administration. So all three administrative structure deeply influence the present day Indian governance. Now, for the next lecture, next slide. So here the slide is saying that very common question the public administrative student asks that why we are studying history uh, to understand the present administrative structure. Yes, we need to study certain things about history because today administrative institutions is evolved from the past, and to understand them better, be it bureaucracy, be it district administration, be it revenue system, be it law and order mechanism, we have to study history because history help us to study the past success and help us to learn from the past mistakes. Okay. So now we need to understand from the public administrative perspective that almost every modern institution has a historical root. For example, the current district administration finds its early seeds in the Mauryan era and was later structured heavily by the Britishers period. Same goes for the revenue collection. You find is early seed in the Mauryan Empire, then Mughal, and then British. Bureaucracy, you can find the element of bureaucratic setup during the Kautilya administration. Later, the British came and gave us Indian civil services. Then record keeping, we used to call Indian civil services and ICS Imperial Civil Services at that point of time. So, and the record keeping. Today, we know that how meticulously we record everything. This concept of record keeping was first time mentioned in the Arthashastra and the police system also. Police system got an influence from the Mughal as well as the British influence. So I hope you like it. Now we need to understand the evolution of ancient Indian administration. So the ancient India, when you know that there was a Vedic civilization and then there was a gap, then Janapadas came and then Mahajanapadas came. So the administrative structure was evolving over the period of time. And there was a rise of localized territorial states known as Janapadas, which eventually consolidated into a large regional power called Mahajanapadas. Over the time, what happened is that a highly centralized kingdom developed and ruled by the Nanda dynasty. Ruled by the Nanda kingdom, the dynasty called Nanda dynasty, which was later. But what happened over the period of time? This Nanda dynasty, there was ruler of the Nanda dynasty were very incompetent, and this was what happened that because of that because of the corrupt administrative structure, there led to the decline of this administrative structure, and later on, a powerful dynasty known as Mauryan Empire came. But this Nanda dynasty territorial extension was from the Bihar to Punjab. So, but over the period of time, the ruler became corrupt and disconnected with the public welfare. So, what happened at that point of time? A character, or we can say not a character, but a young scholar witnessing this decay name, and this scholar name was Kautilya, who also widely known as Chanakya, Vishnugupta. Now, there is a lot of debate whether Kautilya, Chanakya, Vishnugupta, who are these one person or multiple people, and who wrote Kautilya. We are not going to dive into those debates because those are the part of history. We are studying public administration. So, in public administration, what we are going to focus on the administrative part. And here, what this Kautilya did is that he wrote a book called Arthashastra. It is very interesting in the time when so as per if I remember correctly, so So what happened in that, in Hinduism at that point of time, there was uh, artha, dharma, karma, moksha. These were the three things, I think. And I think I don't remember the story, but maybe the next time I will tell you the story. So let's go confine ourselves to this Earth Shastra. So what Kautilya did, Kautilya wrote Earth Shastra. What is the meaning of earth? Meaning wealth, and Shastra means science. So Earth Shastra was the science of wealth. Now, to break down this text itself, earth itself known as wealth, and Shastra means science. Therefore, literal meaning of Arthashastra is science of wealth. But don't let the literal translation fool you into thinking that it's just a book about money. No, 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 no. This book has more about your administrative. This book has more to say. What? While this book suggests this, we are talking about economics, but Arthashastra is actually one of the most comprehensive treaty of the ancient India, or ancient treaties which ever written on the statecraft, macroeconomics, governance, diplomacy, internal security. So all those things Arthashastra is talking about. Within its page, Chanakya systematically laid down exact blueprint of how political, economic, and administrative system ought to function. Chanakya explained how political, economic, and administrative system should function or ought to function. So Chanakya, so what happened is that looking from the political science perspective, Chanakya proposed a fundamental truth. What was the truth? Economic prosperity depends entirely upon the political stability. He argued that a strong, stable political system is a prerequisite to creating a booming economy. The idea remains incredibly relevant today also. Look around the modern world. Stable government inherently attract a long-term investment. For example, FPI, FDI, and foreign portfolio investment and foreign direct investment. Whereas wherever we see the political instability, what happened? The economic growth is discouraged. Administrative efficiency is still the primary driver of the nation development. We need to look this from the present context also. So understand this line: economic perspective prosperity depend on the political stability. So where we have a political stability, we will have a economic prosperity. And political stability does not mean that one party rule. So political stability, proper bureaucratic setup, we will understand over the period time what is political stability and why democracy provide that kind of political stability. Now going to the next slide. I'm tired. So Kautilya wrote Arthashastra during this period when the democracy did not exist. So there were two political systems at that point of time. So the nature of state was monarchy and dictatorship like features. So what is monarchy? Monarchy, power concentrated in one ruler, and king was supreme authority. But dictatorship features like king appoint anyone. King could remove anyone. No election, no constitutional restrictions. So there is a difference between monarchy and the dictatorship. So at that point of time, there was a monarchy, but Mauryan Empire, we cannot say there was a dictatorship tendency. But yes, a certain element you can find in any ruling state. So that is not that debate we are not going to enter, but we need to understand the two political system. One is monarchy, and one is what is monarchy and what are the dictatorship like features. So for the modern student of public administration, we can cleanly categorize the component of Arthashastra into three major categories. One is the machinery of government, how the government department are organized. Second, the principle of administration, rules governing the administrative functions. And the personal administration, the recruitments, appointments, training, and management of the civil services. These are the three things we can study, three major things we will study under Arthashastra when it comes to the public administration. So now, when we designing the machinery of a government, Kautilya realized the essential organization truth. No single ruler can govern alone. The essential organizational truth is that no single person can govern alone. So even the most intelligent, capable king cannot perform every single task by himself. So he wrote that organizations are fundamentally necessary because human beings have limitations and cannot perform all the function alone. So what is incredible is how remarkably similar the ancient insight is to the modern organizational theory we need to understand. So modern public administration link thinkers such as Max Weber, Henry Fayol, Gulick also emphasize specialization and division of work. That is, so Kautilya Arthashastra telling that machinery of government and no person can do all the tasks alone, and he needs some people, specialized worker, people with a specialized work, people with specialization and division of work. And the same public administrative thinkers like Max Weber, Fayol, and Gulick also saying the same thing. So think about it. Arthashastra or Kautilya talking this in around 2400 year ago. So interestingly, right? So, so the administrative structure under Kautilya. So the modern yeah. So, what did Kautilya's administrative structure look like? Now we need to understand that question also. So, at the top there was a king, the supreme authority, the real executive power, and the final decision maker. The directly below the king there was ministers appointed to assist in the daily task, or they basically entirely they were appointed to assist in the daily administration, though they served entirely at the king's pleasure and could be removed at any moment. So think about it, king can remove that any time. huh? Um, and below that there were multiple departments, specialized departments, working and managing the resources efficiently. So that was the administrative structure under Kautilya. Then there is a ministerial system. The most minister was selected from the educated Brahmin groups because knowledge and scholarship were associated with them during that era. Hmm. Interestingly, a minister tenure depends entirely upon one phrase, the confidence of the king. Like these days, the prime minister or his counterparts, their tenure depend on the confidence among the people. As long as the people confidence in them, they'll serve us. But the same goes the confidence of king among this bureaucratic setup and confidence among his the elected scholars. They will keep on working if the trust of the king remain in them, as long as the trust of the king remain in them. So it is very fascinating because it's this concept resemble our modern parliamentary system also, है ना, right? So that is we need to understand. Now, difference between ancient and modern India. So the Kautilya period, king had actual power. Ministers only advise, and king was not bound by advice. Modern India, president is nominal executive. Prime minister and the council of ministers exercise the real executive authority. So, in the ancient, if you look from the ancient India perspective, king was the present day president, right? And their king had an actual power, but here we have a nominal executive. If you remember the initial year of debate when there was a Jawaharlal Nehru, our first prime minister, and the first president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Dr. Rajendra Prasad thought that he become the president of India. He asked that what are the powers of the president of India. Then Prime Minister Nehru wrote him that you have just the nominal executive power. Go and read that story also. It's a very interesting story, and it will let you know that how from the start, like there are multiple debate that if you remember from YouTube videos, like Prime Minister Modi will become president after the retirement. Think about it, how much power he has, the person. But the president of India has no power. He's just a nominal executive. We need to understand. So such debate you will understand over the period of time, not now. Keep watching these lectures and you will understand what I am talking, and how when somebody say that even if the Prime Minister Modi will become the president of India, then he will become the most powerful ruler and India will have no. Those people don't even know, and those people when they say that, they don't know how their administrative structure or how their whole constitution has created, and that is why they are saying such things. So yeah, let's move ahead. So why there are some sociological viewpoint as we are coming toward the end of this lecture. There are certain sociological viewpoint I want to give about the ancient administrative system. So ancient administrative system based on hierarchy, status, caste, and monarchy. But the modern administration system based on equality, merit, constitutional value, and democratic accountability. These words you need to remember in a very good manner. So the modern administrative system based on equality, merit, constitutional value, and democratic accountability. So what we are saying that there is a shift from traditional authority to legal rational authority, and this concept was given by the Max Weber. We will study deeply later on, but yes. So psychological perspective. Kautilya also understood a crucial psychological principle that modern science continuously proves power can corrupt the ruler if left completely unchecked. So that is one principle, Kautilya psychological principle Kautilya gave. So he saw firsthand how the Nanda ruler grew arrogant and detached and deeply corrupt after consuming unchecked power and absolute power. So the modern behavioral psychological confirm that the lack of oversight. Think about it. Lack modern psychological theories also confirm that the lack of oversight reduce accountability. Oversight mechanism improve ethical behavior. Institutions are needed to prevent the abuse of authority. So one thing, lack of the line is very interesting. How modern psychology says the unchecked power reduce accountability. Oversight, lack of oversight improve. Lack of oversight decrease ethical behavior, or oversight mechanisms improve ethical behavior. Now think about it. RTI was a such mechanism which was diluted. I think it was diluted in 2017. Lokpal bill, Lokpal, which was already a diluted form, later on diluted by again in 2019 or 2020. I don't remember that year. But yeah, it was diluted. So when you dilute the institutions, what will happen? Will they able to prevent the abuse of power by the authority? We are not criticizing any ruling class, whoever rules this country. If there will be no override mechanism, like RTA has been diluted, like Lokpal has been diluted, Election Commission of the condition of Election Commission of India, we know. So what will happen? These so-called people who come in power over the period of time, they will not be ensured accountable. They will not behave. They will not show ethical behavior, and they will use or abuse their authority. So take away from this, and we come to the last uh, slides. So the key takeaway that we study the historical evolution or the foundation of Indian administration in three parts: Mughal administration, Mauryan administration, Mughal administration, Arthashastra. These are the earliest treaties of the governance, administration, of departmentalization, specialization, record keeping, personal management, and administrative accountability. And these ideas can be traced in the modern time also, and can trace back to the Kautilya time also. So guys, thank you so much. Keep watching these videos because I'm going to come up with more videos. Thank you. What is